issue of both procurement, in terms of hoarding, in terms of distribution, even in terms of the compilation of beneficiaries. Look at, for instance, the issue of when the president in his, I think, second or third national broadcast on COVID-19, when he said that the social register should be expanded from 2.6 million to 3.6 million. People have been questioning, how did this, what are the criteria or criterion used in compiling this list of 3.6 million people that are beneficiaries on the social register? There is also the issue of the conditional cash transfer, that instead of being done electronically, it was done by manually, in which case we saw the minister handing over cash of, is it 10 or 20,000 to the beneficiary. And this is subjected, it could be manipulated, because where you don't have traceable, how to track the beneficiaries, maybe it could be compromised when it is done manually. So these are different openings and opportunities for corrupt practices. When it started, exactly 1 year ago, February 27, 2020, there was no prior experience for governments to deal with a pandemic of that nature. Recall that the last time we had a global pandemic was in 1918 to 1920. That's when none of us, or most of us, were not born. As at that point in time, we were still under colonial rule. So there was no managerial experience as to how to deal with COVID-19. So, but now we have a year experience behind us. Things can be done more smoothly. let there be job creation, let there be empowerment of every sort, so that more people will not be induced into corrupt practices.
Corruption can mess up every good thing a nation has. A nation is blessed with every good thing all around. If you and I care, we gonna get there. Just ask me how. It starts from you and I. Make you say no. When they give you bribe or ask you for bribe, make you say no. If you're there for office and tempted to steal, make you say no. We can only kill corruption and greed. Make we say no. Make we say no. Make we say no. Make you say no. When they give you bribe or ask you for bribe, make you say no. If you're there for office and tempted to steal, make you say no. We can only kill corruption and greed when we say no. When we say no. When we say no. When we say no.
In the words of Nicola Bonucci, COVID-19 is an invincible pandemic, but so is corruption. Let us make sure that to fight an evil, we do not provide grounds and opportunities to another evil. A prescription of unabashed integrity and a vigilant posture against corruption by all is critical to saving lives. Keep your social distance from corruption. That will be all on this edition. You can watch the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. And for more information about what the Commission is doing, follow us on our social media platforms at ICPC Nigeria. Keep it in with us same time next week. Until then, bye for now.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
The act of making something more beautiful by adding ornaments to it is also known as decoration. Today, so many men and women hardly do without decorating their events. They choose the colors and the quality of materials befitting such an event. Invited guests and groups that grace the occasion normally come in their numbers with different attires conforming to the recommended colors. This practice is an indicator of cooperation and solidarity during ceremonies and festive periods. The purpose of wearing the dress can be to serve as self-identification with age mates, relations, or friends during social occasions such as weddings, funerals, or parties. The word Asho in Yoruba means cloth, and Ebi denotes family. So, Ashobi can be described as a family cloth usually worn during parties or family ceremonies or occasions. However, others call it anko, and many adopt the white man model, which is uniform.
When it first started, it was just the headgear. All the members wearing the same color. Gradually, today, they have moved down even to the dress and the handbag. Handbag to match, and even shoes.
The question then is, how do we practice in our own locality in Benue State?
Because of our association with the outside world, our people are bringing it and introducing it now in Benue State.
They use it in order to make their events colorful. Almost all the Tiv traditional marriages, you see them making black and white ashobi. So for the Ido Mass, it's red and black. Then the Igede is blue and black on the traditional marriages, and even on the white weddings, they use black and white.
How do you feel when your event is accentuated with different colorful attires?
So much excited because I will know that at least I have a group, as in people that have identified with me on my day.
I will be so excited, so joyous inside me. I will know that yes, so people, everybody will know that yes, these are so people, he belongs to them, so it makes you happy.
What happens if the guests come with attires whose colors do not correspond with those recommended?
It is not as if it is a must that you must wear ashobi. It's not for everybody. So if the chief celebrant sees somebody who is not into that attire, why will he or she not welcome the person?
There are factors that could make people to disappoint you in that way. Some, it could be that they don't have the money to afford the material given. So it could be that they don't like wearing the same clothes with so many people.
Inasmuch as decoration is aesthetic to an event, people whose attires do not conform with the color of the day should be free to partake in the merry-making or identify with others wearing the same uniform. After all, the essence of attending any party is just to celebrate with others and have a nice time. So, next time you're going out for that occasion, the choice is yours. Stay with the crowd or have your own unique identity.
The counsel of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi, Now the details. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has attributed Nigeria's exit from recession, despite COVID-19, to the pragmatic implementation of the nation's fiscal and monetary policies, as well as the economic sustainability plan. The minister stated this while addressing journalists shortly after briefing the Federal Executive Council on the fourth quarter GDP report estimates recently released by the National Bureau of Statistics.
Nigeria's GDP in the fourth quarter of 2020 grew by 0.11%. The good story for us is that with this positive growth in the fourth quarter, it means Nigeria has exited recession. This is one of the shortest-lived recessions we have witnessed in the country, despite the impact of the COVID-19. In real terms, the growth between the third quarter and the fourth quarter is a positive growth of 3.73%. A movement within one quarter we have never witnessed in this country. So we're growing from one quarter to another by 3.73%. It's an indication that the policies that are being implemented are the right ones, and the trajectory is a positive one, and that Nigeria is well on its way of restoring a consistent and stable growth, a growth that we hope to grow to be a strong growth from the fragile growth that we now have at 0.11%.
Now, the Senate has confirmed the appointment of Abdulrasheed Bawa as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. During the screening exercise, the nominee promised to ensure transparency, accountability, digitization of operations, and to curtail the use of discretion from the office of the chairman. Abdulrasheed Bawa is to take over from Muhammad Umar Abba, who was appointed acting chairman by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 following the suspension of Ibrahim Magu. The 8th Senate had twice in two separate occasions in 2016 and 2017 rejected the confirmation of Magu. Senate also confirmed the nomination of the appointment of Larry Obinna Collins Chukwu as Commissioner for the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has called for the inclusion of cervical cancer vaccine in the list of routine immunization programs in Nigeria. This, it believes, will help prevent the spread of cervical cancer in the country. In adopting the motion from Representative Bamidele Salami, House members noted that cancer of the cervix is sexually transmitted and has no cure, but the use of the vaccine in other parts of the world has brought about significant reduction of the infection. The lawmakers urged ministries and departments of government to create awareness on the causes, prevention, and management of the infection and the vaccine recommended by the World Health Organization. And now to security. 10 persons have died and 60 others sustained various degrees of injuries following terror attack on Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, by the Boko Haram insurgents. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum was at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital and Specialist Hospital to sympathize with the injured. Mimuna Garba was there.
Evening was a tragic moment in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, when gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram insurgents attacked Maiduguri at different locations using mortar bomb, which was successfully repelled by Nigeria's military. Governor Babagana Umara, who visited the injured at University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital and the State Specialist Hospital, sympathized with them, assuring that government will shoulder their medical bills and gave them all the needed attention. Briefing newsmen, Governor Zulum urged all citizens to remain calm as government at all levels will do everything to protect lives and property.
This thing will not deter our effort of ensuring or bringing lasting peace and stability in the state. The only possible solution is for us to deploy technology and then detect any incoming persons into the town with a view to having the populace.
He equally confirmed liberation of Marte and adjoining communities and lauded efforts of the military, citing the need to take measures to avoid such attacks on communities. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And our next report from Calabar says troops of the Nigerian Army 13th Brigade under the Cross River State Internal Security Outfit, Operation Akpaku, have foiled a kidnap attempt of a traditional ruler in Calabar South area of the state. Achibong Basi reports that the kidnappers, who are 4 in number, stormed the residence of the 80-year-old Muriayamba, who is also the clan head of one of the major tribes in Cross River State.
Reports say the alleged kidnappers arrived at the residence of the traditional ruler, who also rears chicken under the guise to purchase some. On entry into the premises, the 80-year-old was whisked away to the Edebedwe beach in Calabar South local government area. Members of the community, in a swift reaction, alerted the Operation Akpaku, who, in a response, invaded the creeks, and after exchange of gunfire, the kidnappers escaped, but not without injuries, leaving their captive behind.
We have created history as a very first community within the whole of Cross River State that has been able to rescue a kidnapped person overnight.
Efforts of the troops to rescue the 80-year-old is commended by some members of the community.
I really want to thank the law enforcement officers and thank the government for putting this team together. Because it's a teamwork that I'm saying here. The army is here, the police, everybody's here. So I really want to thank the governor, thank the law enforcement agents for their efforts, for all that they've done.
With rescue mission completed, men of Operation Akpaku, led by the officer commanding 13th Brigade Provost, Major Stanley Ipeme, the monarch has been taken to a medical facility for attention. In Calabar, Achibong Basi, NTA News.
8 women, including 4 nursing mothers, kidnapped at Ruguma village in Bungudu local government area of Zamfara State about 2 months ago, have eventually regained their freedom. The women were received by Governor Bello Muhammad alongside the Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, and heads of security agencies in the state at Government House, Gusau. Governor Muhammad says the feat is in furtherance of the ongoing dialogue and reconciliation with armed bandits initiated by Zamfara state government.
We will continue with this dialogue. We will continue engaging these people to secure the northern Nigeria.
The released captives are to undergo medical checkup before the state government reunites them with their families. Meanwhile, 7 of the women abductors have repented and laid down their arms to Zamfara state government. The repentant bandits, who individually took an oath with the glorious Quran, vowed not to go back to their past ways. This is coming barely 24 hours after an armed bandits kingpin in Bakura local government area of the state, Amadou Kalkare, and his 2 lieutenants renounced banditry and surrendered their weapons. A 32-year-old commercial sex worker is now in police net for an alleged attempt to sell her 4-month-old son in Abakaliki. The police public relations officer, DSP Lovett Oda, confirmed this to newsmen at the command's headquarters in Abakaliki. Chinaza John reports.
The woman was picked following a tip-off at a Abacha roundabout in Abakaliki by the anti-human trafficking unit of the command while canvassing to sell her baby. According to the police spokesperson DSP Lovett Oda, the woman says she became pregnant after she had unprotected sex with one of her customers that paid her 5,000 naira.
That she actually wants to sell her baby, and she's not interested in the baby. And if we allow her to be with the baby, she will not assure the safety of the baby. So all the persuading, we have been talking to her, trying to preach her into talking like a mother and knowing the value of her own baby. But she has refused to hear. In fact, she alleged that if we allow her to go home with the baby, she can even throw the baby away.
In an interview, the nursing mother said her decision was as a result of economic hardship. She noted that she intends to use the 40,000 naira proceed that she will make from the sale of her baby to start up a beer parlor business.
I want to sell my baby for 40,000. I want to use it for business.
The PPRO commended the public for the synergy with the police. She further stated that the woman and her baby will be handed over to the Welfare Department, Ministry of Women Affairs for further action, since all efforts to make her rescind her decision has failed. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
To advance education, the Nigerian Navy has inaugurated a 12-room story building hostel and school hall at the Naval Officers' Wives Association Secondary School, Calabar. Justina Etem reports that the project is the initiative of the outgoing president of NOAA, Mrs. Teresa Ibas.
The erection of the hostel was born out of the decision to tackle the accommodation deficits faced by the Naval Officers' Wives Association Secondary School.
Over the years, NOAA has remained committed to championing the cause of the less privileged in the society while taking deliberate measures steadfastly to raise the educational standard of our youth and children.
We are glad that the NOAA administration from the top decided to take up our demand to put a hostel here that will reduce the number of students coming from home.
While inaugurating the infrastructure, the Chief of Naval Staff, represented by the Fleet Commander, Eastern Fleet, Rear Admiral Perry Onwunzlike, commends NOAA for living up to its corporate social responsibility, stating that the gesture will improve learning as well as complement the standard of the school.
I cannot overlook the effort of our amiable wives and mothers in their roles in developing young minds and ensuring a conducive learning environment.
The events featured presentation of gifts to those who have contributed to making the project a reality and planting of trees to beautify the environment. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Political interference, corruption, and degeneration of national norms have been identified as factors militating against effective law enforcement in Nigeria. These were the submissions of guests on Good Morning Nigeria today as they proffer solutions to the challenge. Ekene Ndulue reports.
Law, they say, is no respecter of persons. That is no longer the case in Nigeria, as cases abound of law enforcement officers using their discretionary powers to give undue recognition to some offenders. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say this can be attributed to eroding national culture over the years.
The challenge we have faced is that we continue to see our laws giving so much room for the place of discretion in law enforcement. And discretion has been abused terribly. In the last 3 decades or so, I would say, that I have experienced practically in our country.
We have a problem with our economic system, which generates crime. We have a political system which does not only generate crime, encourage impunity. We have institutional problem of under-resourcing, lack of skills, lack of capability, poor personnel technology mix.
The guests agree that concerted efforts towards a result-oriented law enforcement system in Nigeria must ensure that recruitment and promotion of law officers must be based on merit.
We had stories that people were using money to influence entry into the Nigerian police force. I expected that police should take the best people, the most qualified people into the police force. Once you take the best, you train them, give them the appropriate training, then you get better police officers that will produce better law enforcement for Nigerians.
The guests further advocated increased roles by the family, educational institutions and media in inculcating proper norms in the society. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
At a time, the country is gradually overcoming the spate of insecurity and social restlessness in parts of the country, the abduction strategy of some notorious criminal gangs against unarmed school children is giving stakeholders sleepless nights. The concern is building opinions of experts on better ways to secure Nigeria's schools and its surrounding communities on NTA Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live. Abubakar Usman Akwanga monitored the program.
The twin abduction of Chibok and Dapchi school girls in Borno State is still fresh, as the sad memory still leaves scary scars in the hearts of victims and their relatives. And the recent stroke at Kankara and Kagara Boys Secondary Schools in Katsina, Niger States, leaves much to be told in the hostage for ransom regime established by these bandits.
I think what needs to be done is to understand that we're dealing with terrorists which also have chosen school as target. You recall when Boko Haram was also targeting school and telling, places of worship, because these are the places that generate mass publicity and, of course, a diminished trust in government.
This policy is one that has considerations for the 6 geopolitical zones. So it goes beyond the Safe School initiative, which I told you was, concentrated in the northeast, as opposed to the Safe School declaration, which is national and indeed global.
Experts say sophisticated strategies are required to defeat bandits and adoption of measures that will guarantee maximum safety of students and public facilities.
The most important thing in security for schools, you must partner with the communities, who also will see it as a responsibility to watch out for suspicious people.
The number of schools have, in the country, and as Mrs. Dua pointed out, you have 61% of the school without any kind of facilities to protect people. You need to go and, protect them by providing those facilities.
As government continued to intensify efforts towards the elimination of criminal elements, stakeholders say the media should sharpen their pen in silencing factors that could further degenerate the challenges. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's pause here in Abuja and join Hingino in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Lydia. Lagos State Government and the Nigerian Ports Authority have strengthened collaboration to implement and enforce an electronic call-up system aimed at dislodging the gridlock in Apapa, Lagos. Musa Toliat reports that the collaboration was finalized when Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu granted audience to the Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, at the State House in Lagos.
The call-up system will be implemented from Saturday, the 27th of February 2021. The Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, said it is the best way to restore sanity at the gateway to the nation's economy.
With collaboration from Lagos State, we have worked together seamlessly to ensure that Apapa and Tikan Island are rid of the menace of trucks that has been bedeviling that location. It is quite an embarrassment to all of us in government to be facing this issue and responding to it year in, year out. So we believe we've reached a point where we're going to have a strong electronic call-up that will remove human intervention from the process. One of the key aspects of this e-call-up is the fact that we have approved truck parks where all trucks must to sit in order for them to access the port location.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, however, warned that as soon as the electronic call-up system is deployed, indiscriminate parking of trucks in port access roads and highways leading to Apapa will attract stiff sanctions.
Once we have a transparent call-up that all of them know that once they have downloaded the app and they have a need, there will not be that interface with the security operatives. Enforcement will be that if you don't have any business on the road, we will ensure that we have enough towing vehicles to tow your truck off the road, and you will be charged, a fine that will be a deterrent. It will be so severe that you will not repeat it again.
Governor Sanwo-Olu disclosed that there are plans to create more parks to cope with the influx of trucks into Lagos State. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Violators who have been illegally occupying the right-of-way along federal highways in contravention of the Federal Highway Act have been ordered to vacate or file eviction. This message was clearly delivered by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing during a sensitization tour of affected areas along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Dotun Ogunyemi reports.
This is a typical scenario along the stretch of the busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, where parts of the main carriageway, sidewalks, drainages and reserved area of right-of-way have been encroached upon for commercial purposes. These are in clear violation of legal requirements which stipulate 90 meters right-of-way on primary federal or state highways, that is 45 meters on each side of the road. Aside the dangers of roadside trading, the pace of construction has been affected, while security is also of concern, as underbridges of Kara, Arepo and Magboro have become hideouts with heaps of refuse constituting environmental hazards.
In order for us to clean up the expressway, we have been able to, so far, giving them the message to sensitize them on the coming exercise, to enforce and to remove them from where they are illegally occupying.
After a meeting with stakeholders, there is a consensus, but others are appealing for more time.
So we'll look at it and move our people beyond the specified meters.
While the enforcement is still in view, owing to the compliance levels in the coming weeks, the team also visited Shagamu and Iwo end of the expressway with the same message to implement the right-of-way regulation as stipulated in the Highway Act. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
It's now time for some messages. Nationwide continues shortly.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher yo, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Go na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged yes school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We no happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, Shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I talk with that now.
Not for me. You want me to die?
Not for me because of Pamio.
The second wave of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is upon us.
To safeguard lives of our people, government has signed the health protection regulations, which makes wearing a face mask mandatory in public places.
Wear a mask. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water. And use hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is real. Do not be infected. Do not spread it. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Fulham continue their fight to survive relegation when they welcome Brighton to the Hawthorns. This Saturday, it's West Bromwich Albion versus Brighton and Hove on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Goal.com.
Welcome back. Nationwide continues in Abuja. The president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has commended the federal government for the progress Nigeria is making on railway development, evident in the recent launch of the InfraCo under the Public-Private Partnership Initiative, which he said is the first of its kind in Africa. Dr. Adesina said this at the special second-term inauguration lecture of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu in Akure. Abiola Rio reports.
In the lecture titled Towards a New Nigeria, From Federal Feudalism to a Commonwealth, Dr. Adesina, who spoke virtually, x-rayed the economic situation of the country and the factors militating against attainment of the nation's economic viability. Adesina said Nigeria and its state components are blessed with the expected resources to meet the demands of the masses.
The total value of petroleum reserves in Nigeria will worth up to $1.5 trillion.
Governor Akeredolu, who identified insecurity as the most potent threat to national belief, stressed that the time has come for all to fight as one, irrespective of ethnicity.
The more Nigeria with every ingredient of freedom, rule of law, patriotism.
The inaugural lecture is part of activities lined up for the second-term inauguration of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu in Akure. Abiola Rio, NTA News.
Yes, the Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has been sworn in for a second term for another 4 years in office as Executive Governor of Ondo State. Correspondent Abiola Rio again, who witnessed the event in Akure, has the details.
The swearing-in ceremony, which took place at the Dome, has in attendance dignitaries from far and near, including the All Progressives Congress APC national leader Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, governors from other states, as well as members of the National Assembly. The State Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Olarinwaju Akeredolu, administered the oath of office and allegiance on the governor and his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa.
Do solemnly swear that I will bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully.
Governor Akeredolu pledged to take Ondo State to greater heights during his second term. He thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his support to his administration during his first term, which he said made him recorded a lot of successes. The governor said his focus will be on security of lives and provision of more infrastructure.
Our administration began to focus on agriculture and youth employment through entrepreneurship.
The governor had earlier inspected a guard of honor mounted by the police and other security agencies in Akure. Abiola Rio, NTA News.
Next is NCDC update on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 571 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. The latest figures released bring the total number of confirmed cases to 153,187 infections in the country. A breakdown of the new cases from 20 states, including the FCT, indicates that Lagos recorded the highest number for the day with 170 new cases, while Ogun has 65 new cases. Others are the FCT with 45, Kwara 34, Abia and Enugu 32 each, while Kano recorded 25 new cases. Others are Oyo with 22 new cases, Ondo 21, Rivers and Kaduna 19, Benue 18, Bayelsa and Kebbi 12, while Nasarawa has 11 cases. Akwa Ibom recorded 9 new cases, Delta with 8, Ekiti 6 and Niger 5. The day's tally is completed by Bauchi and Imo states recording 3 new cases each. A breakdown of confirmed cases by states indicates that Lagos has the highest with 54,800 82, followed by the FCT with 19,064, while Plateau State comes third with 8,833 cases. With this latest development, 129,943 cases have been successfully treated and discharged, while 1,874 patients died, unfortunately. The news of the second wave of COVID-19 came with what is called variant, first discovered in the UK, just as South African variant is also reported to be causing havoc. Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has dismissed the fear of a Nigerian variant of the COVID-19 virus, as it's been purported, and assures of commitment to keep Nigerians informed on any new development towards the well-being of the nation. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
The world is still struggling to contain the COVID-19 virus when it took another form as a variant, which was discovered in the UK and South Africa. And now, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 29 cases of the B1525 UK variant in the country. While this is causing panic in some quarters, experts say it is normal for a virus to change their form and that COVID-19 variant is not a big deal.
You know, every virus is made up of sequences of amino acids. The way they combine can lead to slight differences in the formation of those viruses. When these viruses change, they're called new variants. Now, the emergence of a new variant of a vaccine, it's in itself not a big challenge. Africa Center for Excellence in Genomics found a new variant in Nigeria, the B1525, which has also been found in some other countries, but was first found in Nigeria. At the moment, this new variant hasn't been shown to be linked to increase in transmission or transmissibility or increase in severity. So we know that the virus has changed a bit, but not that it causes more harm. So we're studying right now if that's the case, but we haven't found any of it.
The NCDC says it is working with partners in conducting more research into the sequencing of the variants.
Especially the Africa Center for Excellence in Genomics, to increase our ability to do sequencing, look for that variant, and then define how we can potentially understand better the impact on transmission, severity, vaccine efficacy, or even the tests that we use for this virus.
The NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, also clears the air on efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Antibodies have no impact on whether you should or should not use the vaccine, right? Every individual, whether you think you have been infected previously or not, should access the vaccine when it becomes available to you. It's life-saving for you. It's important for your family. It's important for our society. So please, we've worked very hard as a government to make sure these vaccines are available to Nigerians.
1 year after the emergence of COVID-19 in Nigeria, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has noted reduction in infection rate on a week-on-week basis, but however insists on proper wearing of face masks, constant hand washing, and observance of social distancing to reduce transmission. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Kemi has more reports for us as we join her in Ibadan. Kemi, over to you.
Thank you, Lydia, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Shasha Market in Akinyele local government area of Ibadan has reopened for business transactions with the directive of Governor Seyi Makinde given during a peace parley with the Seriki and Bale of Shasha and other stakeholders. Ayamiko Ajibola has details.
Barely to between two ethnic groups, which led to violence and destruction of lives and properties. Governor Seyi Makinde at a peace meeting with leaders of the community said he has agreed to reopen the market, having been assured of sustainable peace. He also declared that the state government has lifted the curfew imposed on the community in the wake of violence that erupted while assuring that adequate security measures are in place to ensure people go about their normal businesses at Shasha without threat. The governor, however, announced the closure of Iroko Market, adding that security report reveals that its promoters were reportedly part of the cause of the recent crisis at Shasha.
Iroko Market will remain short. We will take a long-term view of Iroko Market, but in the meantime, it remains short.
Earlier, Bale and Sedeki Shasha, in their separate remarks, had apologized on behalf of the traders and warring faction on the ugly incidents, pledging to ensure peaceful coexistence. The meeting was attended by the head of various security agencies in the state. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian police says it is working assiduously to restore peace and security in Oyo State. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, ICT, David Folawiyo, said these while addressing officers and men at the police headquarters in Eleyele, Ibadan. Rofia Animashambadmas has more.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of ICT, David Folawiyo's visit to Oyo Police Command was to rub minds with officers on improving their relationship with people to avoid laxity. He said the sensitization is a wake-up call for them to align with global best practices in policing.
How does the public see you? Police as a corporate trust is supposed to give service, render service. Police as corporate trust is not going to share anything but good service as dividend.
The DIG charged officers to be resolute in restoring peace to crime-prone areas and always ensure that the interests of the people are protected. It therefore advised members of the public to always provide useful information to security agents that can help them in the discharge of their duties. In Ibadan, Rofia Animashambadmos, NTA News.
And away from security, examination for applicants seeking employment into the vacancies at the Kwara State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, and the Teaching Service Commission, TESCAM, has commenced in 16 CBT centers across the state. Raliat Ibrahim monitored the exercise in the 4 centers in Ilori, the Kwara State capital.
The qualifying examinations, which is computer-based, is being held at 16 JAMB accredited centers in Ilorin, Malete, Ofa, and Lafiagi. Zainab Soliu is an applicant for a SUBEB job and expects the selection process to be objective.
The way I look at it is easy, so we pray to God so that it ends up good.
My expectation from the state government is to give us the best, the transparent.
While COVID-19 safety protocols were observed in some centers, others blatantly ignored the protocols outside the examination hall. Over 60,000 people have applied, while the state government is planning to recruit 4,700 teachers.
Some of them forgot their password. That is why we have general password. We've been doing our best to rectify a lot of problems. Some of these problems are applicant-based. Some are system-based.
The qualifying examination will be held from Monday 22nd to Thursday 25th of February. Examination results will be released same day of the examination and successful applicants will be called for interview. Raliat Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that is it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Kemi. Nigeria is about to bid farewell to unnecessary explosion in the oil sector as it collaborates with a Spanish organization to use technology for the control and prevention of explosions in the petroleum industry. Kenneth Nanim reports that the new technology was unveiled to stakeholders at a virtual meeting at the instance of Minister of State for Environment.
Nigeria has lost a lot of lives and property to explosions of various degrees, especially in the petroleum sector, a situation that the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency has been searching for solution to. Now, the country is about to reverse the situation with this new explosion control technology, which has the capacity to absorb energy from burning fire.
this is to demonstrate that a tank protected with our mesh will avoid the evaporation of the gasoline. You can have hardly 2% maximum of gas. Some years ago, I think it was...
Personnel of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency and other stakeholders are expected to leverage on the new technology to mitigate environmental, social and economic impact of explosions in the country.
The most important thing we are focusing on is explosions. It is easy for us to combat fire, but explosion has been a big problem. With the mesh and the bombs, it has been proved all over the world that this technology is very, very potent.
When this pandemic is over, I believe there will be an opportunity to have a much better interaction with these people and then get samples of this for their Nigerian partners to come and really test physically to us. But what we see physically is what we have seen him demonstrated from his table over there in Spain.
Participants who acknowledged the initiative emphasized the need for synergy with the Federal Fire Service to ensure quality and certification. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Time now to join Asmao in Sokoto for more reports. Hello, Asmao.
Hello, Lydia. Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto. National Films and Video Censors Board has sealed 30 shops selling pornographic films in Sokoto. The closure of the shops was performed during a periodic exercise on checks of films and videos sold across the country. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the report.
According to the Executive Secretary, National Films and Video Censors Board, Adedayo Thomas, in recent years, copies of pornographic films worth 10 to 20 million naira were confiscated and destroyed across the country, mostly sexually motivated copies. Adedayo said the board is out to intensify efforts in getting rid of such films in the state. He said in November and December 2020, more than 5 million pornographic films were destroyed in Sokoto and culprits remanded in correctional facilities, urging parents to keep an eye on their words and the type of films they watch.
When you made this kind of arrest and this seal, it will not end here because we trace it back to where it's coming from, where it's being processed, and that's where we know the real source.
The Executive Secretary hinted that all DVD films are banned in the country for lack of license. To ensure sanity, the board has engaged secondary schools and 30 universities in the country for an enlightenment campaign on the dangers of pornography, especially among teenagers. The board is also into roadside shows across the nation to educate the public on the menace. The exercise will be conducted in other vulnerable states of the country. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Stakeholders in Al-Majri's system of education have been challenged to accept that itinerancy and begging have no positive role in the advancement of the system. This came to the fore at the Stakeholders Summit on the modernization of Quranic schools in Sokoto State. Elat Abdullahi reports that Minister of Education was represented by the Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education Commission.
The summit was organized by the Sokoto State Arabic and Islamic Education Board and the Consultative Committee on Education Development. The Al-Majli system of education has over the years been a topic of discourse in private and public settings. This made the Sokoto State government to develop interest in the Indonesian system toward changing the long-existing itinerancy and begging known in the West African sub-region. The Indonesian Pondok system requires the institutions, including school infrastructure, teaching and learning support, and welfare facilities to ensure a vibrant Al-Majri education subsector.
We must come to grips with these realities to ensure that all levels of government and all stakeholders are on the same page and can effectively and sincerely work together to effect the necessary transformation required to move the sector forward.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said the state government will do all it takes to ensure the success of adopting the Indonesian modernization system in all the Al-Majli Islamic schools across the state. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar, while pledging sustained support to guarantee effective and sustained implementation, noted that Sokoto state government has started on a good platform in changing the system for the better, hoping that other states in the north will follow in that regard. There were goodwill messages and contributions from participants at the summit. In Sokoto, Lalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. The news will continue in Port Harcourt right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College JOS invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate online news reporting skills. Date 1st March to 12th March 2021. 2 weeks. Studio lighting indoor and outdoor. Date 1st March to 5th March 2021. 1 week. Modern trends in broadcast media marketing. Date 15th March to 9th April 2021. 4 weeks. Understanding public service rules and mastering the art of standard minute writing, reports, memoranda, and briefs. Date 15th February to 12th March 2021. 4 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week courses is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 40,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all the courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, JOS. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, JOS, training you to be the best you want to be.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Lobo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
West Brom continue their fight to survive relegation when they welcome Brighton to the Hawthorns. This Saturday, it's West Bromwich Albion versus Brighton and Hove on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Goal.com.
Welcome to Port Harcourt. The need for government at all levels to synergize in the fight against the supply and abuse of drugs in the country has again resonated. This was during the interaction between Governor Wike and the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Brigadier General Buba Marwa, at Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogedi Nyekwere completes the reports.
After 5 weeks of his appointment as the new chairman and chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa is on a nationwide familiarization tour to various commands of the agency across the country. The first port of call is Rivers State, where he began his military career over 40 years ago.
We request for Your Excellency as an appeal to consider a rehabilitation center in the state, a drug control committee, and membership of the NDA Rivers State Command in the State Security Committee, so that the committee is sufficiently briefed on this causality between drug use and crime.
Most unfortunate that people think that fighting crime is only when you fight bandits, kidnappers. But nobody understands the root cause of most of this crime is the taking of drugs. People going to rape, people going to kidnapping when they're almost high. And that is the essence of drugs. If we're able to reduce the level of drugs in our society, we're going to reduce also the crime rate.
The governor later presented 3 vehicles to the Rivers State Command of the agency. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
The federal government is taking steps to give internally displaced persons in the country a new lease of life with the construction of 600 units of 2-bedroom bungalows in selected states for resettlement of persons of concern. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Bashir Muhammad, said this during the flag off and distribution of food and non-food items to the Bakassi IDPs in Calabar. Justina Etim reports that the commissioner was represented by the director, Human Resource Wachiko Abdul Rahman. Her reports.
The distribution of food items to persons of concern, which is taking place across the country, is the federal government's efforts aimed at addressing the problem of food shortage affecting internally displaced persons. The relief packages distributed to the Bakassi internally displaced persons include bags of rice, beans, millet, vegetable oil, noodles, mattresses, blankets, and more. And the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons intimates that the federal government has more lofty plans to better the lives of the internally displaced persons.
Right now, we have stayed in some states. So as we move on, we are going to expand to several other states in Nigeria.
Bakassi was seeded to develop Cameroon for the sake of peace and for national interest.
I want to commend them specially for facilitating these items to be brought to us.
Beneficiaries say the relief materials will go a long way to better their lives. It is expected that internally displaced persons will reciprocate the federal government's efforts by making good use of the items to improve the well-being of their families. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
That's our beat from Port Harcourt. Nationwide continues with Lydia.
Thanks, Gabrielle. And now sports.
Welcome to Sports Update. Nigeria's Golden Eaglets are drawn in Group B alongside Tanzania, Algeria and DR Congo at the Under-17 African Nations Championship in Morocco this April. The Golden Eaglets last won the championship in 2007. 25-year-old Nigeria international Chima Moneke, who made his debut for Nigeria against Sudan at the just concluded AfroBasket qualifiers, is excited about his future with the Tigers. Chima scored 8 points with 5 rebounds in 13 minutes.
You know, as I play more games, I'll get more comfortable, and I'll hopefully, you know, get more of an opportunity to show what I can do. But I'm happy with the start. I'm happy with winning, and I just hope that we continue it tomorrow, and I'm able to do this for a long time.
Away from basketball, the national under-18 men's handball team have been dealt a blow following the cancellation of the 16th Africa Youth Championship scheduled for 16th to 21st March 2021 in Agadir, Morocco, due to COVID-19 restrictions placed on some countries. The national under-18 team have been undergoing intensive training in Abuja ahead of the championship. And finally, in golf, 15-time major champion Tiger Woods is responding to treatment after suffering serious leg injuries in a car crash in Los Angeles on Tuesday. Injuries to his foot and ankle have been stabilized with screws and pins. Golfers and celebrities have been sending support messages to the 45-year-old on social media. And that's it on Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe.
And that concludes Nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Lydia Odije Ochi. Have a pleasant evening. Goodbye.